Hey everybody, John Carpenter with the Who Knows You podcast. I am actually here with a friend and someone I've known for a few years, Jamal Collins, or as I know him, Jayworking. And he's actually done some wonderful things for people in the past and continuing to do so. Thanks for joining me, Jamal.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so you and I first connected a while back on a LinkedIn Live, and we were connected before that. But what we really were working was you helping graphic design on the inner city kids and things like that, and personal branding. And how is that going for you still? You still handling all that?
Yes, the landscape has changed a lot, right? So technology is moving so fast. We coming
Right.
bouncing back from COVID as well. So it's just like, it's nothing new being in, graphic design, technology, the economy, like having to pivot and evolve and just way things, just things are kind of topsy turvy in this game. So you always got to stay sharp. You always got to stay on top of stuff always. I
Yeah.
always felt like once I got my
Yeah, and
degree,
that's the part, like, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say I felt like once I got my degree, I thought I was done, finished learning. I'm set. I can just work and work my way up the corporate ladder, and it's not that case.
Yeah, we don't all want to do the corporate ladder. I think it's funny because when you and I were first like connecting and talking and seeing what you were doing with the graphic design stuff, you were obviously, kind of driving your own personal brand. And the reason behind it was to help other people, not necessarily to help you grow, which is it's a unique aspect. So tell me why you chose to go the route of helping other people with your personal brand.
Mm. It kind of evolved into that space. I started volunteering, and then I got
Mhm.
into the educational space. So it's not like I'm not an educator by trade. I had to learn that craft, and I think part of it was, seeing a talent in myself, seeing a knack and a connection that I had, and I just showed that connection by recording it. Right. So I found a love and
Right.
a connection for giving. I didn't know anything about it. We're not kind of taught to give and to help people and to serve. It's kind of like, the rat race, it's capitalism. It's like, and I get it. Like we got families, we got, responsibilities. Sometimes it's tough to reach out and give some help because we got so much in our, central nucleus
Mhm.
of our families already. So it's kind of tough to do that. So,
Yeah.
but,
And I
but
think the documenting part is important.
absolutely.
Yeah, and that's how you were really doing it, was documenting. Of course, you you kind of documented East Cleveland when nobody was really looking at it, and you kind of took it from there. Now you started recently with a personal branding course, and I think that was really cool. I signed up for it right away. Why did you choose to? I mean, obviously you said things are changing a little bit, and it's just the way things have to go. But why do you think the future is personal branding?
I was probably one of the early adopters in getting into the whole creating content and vlogging, right? So I've been doing it for probably like 5 years, and it's just evolved into like this new short form content, social media. We got TikTok, and I'm seeing a lot of people that's regular Joe Blow people, that's grassroots people, that's really the innovators and the change agents in in this economy right now. And I know that information is gold, and I know the value of, like, we kind of talk about trading our time for money and things like that. And I just meet so many people that have such a knowledge base, and I just see them not really capitalizing on their intellectual property and things like that. So I think it's vital. I think everyone, and I talked about this like a lot. I talked about like the resume being dead, and
Yep.
not, it's like your bullet points is really me showing up and showing the work and showing a track record and showing me in meetings and showing me with these ideas and innovations and trying stuff and helping people and, creating content and learning how to, I guess you got to learn this stuff too, because if we even get into talking about the AI stuff, it's going to really be a divide in technology if you don't get, connected to learning how these prompts work, chat GPT and all of this stuff, and how it plays a part in you and what you can do.
Yeah. And I think that's the interesting piece. What you said, though, was the resume's dead. I've actually, as a recruiter, we use resumes clearly, but it's not the only thing. And if these kids or anyone is looking for a job and they've only had one job in their life and it's McDonald's or whatever, but they're out there creating content to showcase other things, I think they need to use that as the next step in their path, right? And kind of learning from somebody like yourself is important. Now, how do you teach them to document? How do you tell them, like, obviously you turn the phone on yourself, but how can they help create some of that content alone?
I think one of the things is just like, it's just pure awareness, man. It's just letting them know, like, cause I don't really hold back, and I just let them know, like, y'all are just a bunch of consumers, man. Like, y'all gotta,
right.
Like, nobody's coming to save you. There's no jobs. There's no opportunities, right? The content is going to help you get the job. The content is going to help you, put you in a place where you're doing stuff that you love to do. So I think one of the key things I'll kind of talk about, like, if you want to work for Nike, Nike wants to see something from you. They don't want to see, they want to see Nikes. They want to see sketches. They want to see that you did some research and that you're really putting forth effort, because it's all competition. Everybody wants to work for Apple, or everybody wants to have their own, their own thing. And like, what differentiates you from somebody else is like your content, the way you thinking, the way you packaging it, and, just the researching and learning. I think part of it is like learning too, right? So that, like I said, when we started recording, like, the information is moving so fast. So what am I looking at? Do I know how money works? Do I know how to negotiate? Do I have emotional intelligence when it comes to people? So I think it's like little baby steps to getting there, but at least it's just like, if I'm producing, I'm creating something, and I'm learning how to do something. I think one of the things is like, people get so discouraged in learning something, because I just had a phone call before you came in, and the guy was like, he was talking about Photoshop and he would love to learn how to do it. And I told him, I was like, look, man, it takes 60 to 90 days. You just got to dig into it.
Yeah. And that's true. Obviously Gary Vaynerchuk has always said it's easier to, it's not easy, but you need to document your life and what you're doing and all this kind of stuff. But also, if you want to learn TikTok, it's not going to be done overnight. You got to dive into TikTok. You got to dive in and figure out what's going to work and how it's going to work. And it's going to take time. And everything's that way. You mentioned AI. It's not going to change at all, right? Like, they're going to need to learn how to use ChatGPT or any of the new stuff coming out to kind of help out. And I think that you're on the forefront of that. Like, you learn it, and then people help and pay for knowledge, and that's what you're doing. You're sharing your knowledge, which is hard for a lot of people to do.
Yeah.
But you do it. You do it well.
I mean, I talked to thousands of people, and a lot of people, it's all like their temperament, right? It's like their mindset. So that's like heavy, because they got the technology side that I'm teaching, like, how does these tools work? How do it plays into me? But also the mindset part, because I'm like, damn, well, I'm talking to these people about Photoshop, and they still not executing. So it's like these two, it's like this seesaw going back and forth from mindset and actually learning it and doing it, and not being afraid to look at this stuff and like encourage people to do it. Because I'm working with a lot of older people lately.
Okay.
Right? So my age and up, right? And we got people that they start off real strong and they get real excited. I've sat and talked and showed people like the power of ChatGPT. Just kind of, I'll like do like shock and awe, where I'll just like blast like our first meeting, just like crazy with it. I'm jumping in Photoshop, Mid-Journey, ChatGPT, doing all of this stuff, and then they don't show up again.
Right.
So it's like, it's easy to start off strong, but like I said, take 30 to 60 to 90 days, and you get dopamine from doing something, man. Go ahead.
No, you're right. No, it's just funny because it takes 21 days, right, to make a habit technically. And so, if you're going to start off strong and learn it and not follow through with it, like that's pointless. I mean, you and I have talked about photography in the past because we both kind of have dabbled in that. And it took me a long time to I hated taking photos of people, but I realized that if I was going to jump as a photographer, it had to be, I had to take pictures of people, right? And so I took a long time, like, I got to learn this. I got to, like, what am I going to do? And like settings and like all that kind of stuff. And finally it got to the point where I was taking pictures of actors and, you know, stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, cool. Now I don't do it as much anymore because life has changed. Right.
Right.
But, you know, you've actually done that. When you're saying you're talking with people about, you know, the AI stuff, I think it's important because it's out there. Everybody hears about it. But I don't think they realize that it's going to be here as soon as they think it is, even though it's already here. But what they're using it for is more important. You know, what are you teaching them people to use it for?
It's just awareness at this point. I'm just letting them know these tools are here and they could possibly do. Like a lot of people, like I meet a lot of small business owners.
Yes.
That's kind of needs help in scaling, needs help with ideas. I'm mostly like an idea guy, right? Yep. Everybody wants a logo, but really don't, you know, really dig deep into like a strategy and a system. So I'm kind of thinking on it as more on lines of like helping me with my strategy, helping me with even learning, and helping me build my system with the AI. Not just let the AI just do it for me, right? So actually like learning from AI, like summarize this book and give me the key, because I can move faster through books and information with the AI versus me. Like I could do comparisons, I can do market research, I can do like stuff like that, right? I can dig deeper, like maybe I could be missing something because I am a designer by trade. So marketing is something that I'm self-taught, so I'm not like a master in it. So I'm still kind of like, you know, focusing some stuff I may be missing. So that's kind of the AI. Am I missing something? Am I looking at this wrong? Or maybe go ahead.
Yeah, I like that, because what's interesting is you and I like both have our degrees, and you know, you said everybody wants to work for Apple or Google, but that's not going to be the case. And so I've kind of dabbled a little bit with ChatGPT and like what's gonna, like, what content should be used, or summarize this book that I want to read, you know, to kind of give me a learning curve, and then you can turn around and turn that into content. And so that personal brand, especially for small businesses, I think is important, because a lot of times small businesses don't understand, hey, what content should I share for my people to get people to buy my business or product? And guess what? AI can help you do that. It won't do it for you, but it can help you learn, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, what's the next step for you? I mean, clearly you started your brand lecture series, you know, the personal branding, and what's that look like?
Just some more stuff. I want to have more of an online not an online presence, but a community online. So maybe some memberships, maybe some products, right? Some more, because I'm losing students. Like I said, stuff has changed. So I'm kind of losing contact, right? So I want to open it up where I can be more of a help for people and kind of figure out what that space is, right? So I really never asked nobody for anything, like buy my course. Right. I never really had any like tangible products that was associated with how I think. Right. So that's kind of where I'm at. Right. So just productizing myself for the most part. I'm practicing.
And I love that.
Go ahead.
I love that, man. I was just telling you I love it.
So I'm like one of the things is like you kind of get into the space where you're teaching all these concepts and all these ideas, and then I'm not applying them because I'm teaching. Right. That's all I'm doing. So I'm like, well, I need to apply some of this stuff so I can really show them. So I'm kind of in some spaces that's kind of new for me, like email marketing. I never really did an email marketing campaign, right? I just kind of had a newsletter, but I really wasn't too active with it. So certain things and parts doing, moving forward. But I'm doing a lot of client work too. So I got the kids too. So I'm trying to juggle all that stuff. I create content for companies. I'm producing a podcast. I'm running a podcast with me and Ishmael Samad, Loitering and Unarmed. So I'm kind of part of the arts for Loiter. So we kind of doing that stuff too. So I'm busy, but yeah.
Yeah, but all of it is part of your personal brand, you know, and I think that that's what's important for people to understand is, look, everybody can do it. They just need to turn the camera on, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody should look at Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast on
Yes.
YouTube and the stuff that he's doing. It's like his branding, his the websites, the colors he's using, like he's really figured it out how to do it, and it's really changed it for us, you know, for us. So, you know, I heard somebody quote that creating content is the new oil, it's the new, you know, it's the new gold, and we need to figure it out. People, you know, and I give people a lot of outs. Like certain people don't like how they talk. Some people don't like how they look. They scared of their background. Like you should be writing articles. You should have a podcast using your voice. This AI stuff can it can capture your voice now, and you could just, it can, you know, this sky's the limit because now that the Chat GPT 4 is out, it can look at pictures and give you feedback on pictures. And now they didn't open up Chat GPT APIs. So now we can create apps and stuff using the chat. Like it's crazy now. So, I mean, people really need to think in spaces like, because I'm sitting there looking at it like, damn, I need an app. I haven't even really been thinking in that space of an app and what would that app do. So now I got to think of like, okay, I got to think of how can I help and serve some people with my own app, because we can do it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and look, you know that you see, that's the thing. I think I've always thought people pay for knowledge, right? And so like if you're knowledgeable and you're able to put it out there, and I think that's you hit the key and the nail on the head. You haven't necessarily done it for yourself, but you can teach other people. And for me, it's always been like, I want to make a video today, but man, my eyes look tired or my hair's out of whack. But who cares, man? Like, you know, just make the video. You're just being you, right? That's the authentic piece behind it. And so that's what I really loved about you from the beginning was you were bringing authentic stuff to people and showing that you're just an authentic person. And I think that that's the important piece on a personal brand, being authentic.
Absolutely.
I mean, you do it well, brother.
Thank you.
But I appreciate it. So where can people find you, man?
You can find me at jayworking.com, JAYWORKING. My government is Jamal Collins on LinkedIn, Facebook. If you do a Google search, you can find me and check me there.
Super, man. I appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you.